Hey everybody, well, take two on this video. It's not been my night. Alright, real quick, the stats. Notice we're only a half inch behind normal for where we should be. That 3.7 from last year, again, that was an anomaly in Thanksgiving time frame, actually mid-November last year. And it didn't snow again until January 23rd. We had nothing in December, and you guys were like, ah, winter's over. Be patient. Again, we're still thinking that El Niño's effects are strong enough to last the beginning of winter, but as we enter the cool phase of El Niño and the Pacific Northwest ocean water warming that is still there become more of a factor, and that should allow for a flip. Question is when? When? And we don't know when yet, but we're watching. Well, at least I am, constantly. I don't take my eyes off of it. Alright, real quick, on the Mono T board. Took off the 12th, the 16th to the 19th, only because the pattern doesn't really support anything that is catching my eye yet. But I put on the dates beyond scope because I think just beyond that, we may have a chance. And for those of you that are saying that there's no way we're going to get a white Christmas this year, don't take that off the list just yet. More right now. Hopefully my mouth is still matching the video. I know when my computer glitches like that, it gets out of sync. So hopefully I didn't mess up. Anyway, dense fog advisory in effect for southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, and freeze and fog advisory to the north of that till tomorrow morning. The reason why it's dense fog advisory for areas along the river is because we had some warming today, so the road temps got a chance to absorb some of that. Only icy patches expected on elevated objects for the most part, and bridges and overpasses. So isolated cases. We'll watch it carefully. So the Weather Service, I've been talking with them about this, so they are monitoring that too to see if there needs to be an adjustment later. Freeze and fog advisory for our north because you guys have been hovering around freezing since last night and all day today. So your ground's colder and the chance for freezing on roadways is a little bit higher. So that's the difference in the two, in case you were wondering. You can see the fog expanding now across into northern Kentucky. In fact, visibility at last check-in down or at the airport is now half a mile, which is a poor visibility. And this is the only thing going on in the Ohio Valley is the fog. Real exciting, you know. All right, so quiet weekend. I did balance out the temperatures in the weekend because this little vort, and that's what we're going to have next week, quick little vorts that move on by. And the vort coming in Sunday night, Monday, it looks like it's going to start off with a thinner amount of clouds than it looked earlier today. So we may have a chance with a stronger south flow ahead of this vort on Sunday to actually be warmer than Saturday. Right now, I just balance the two out, same temperature. But don't be surprised to see Sunday end up being a warmer day despite a few more clouds around. But that's one change I've noticed in the evening data so far. But as the vort passes over us, yeah, it's showing some cold air with it, not a lot of moisture. Could we see an ice pellet or two? Yes, it is possible. But I don't see surface temperatures being at the freezing mark at all, so no issue. It looks to be a very minor little system, but it will cloud us out. And then we get another one. Now, the Euro shows it coming in Thursday. GFS doesn't show hardly anything. And then the Euro shows another one coming out on Friday. And I think the problem is there probably will end up being just one that'll pass through. And the GFS and Euro are kind of bouncing off each other on picking out which one is going to be the dominant one. So we'll play low rain chances for right now for Wednesday night through Friday until we kind of get a handle on where's the dominant feature coming in. But it's not anything major. It would just give us a few showers and clouds. So we'll, it's rain, so we got to figure it out anyway. But no, it's fairly weak systems next week. Then after that, we get into a more complicated setup. If you're used to this is the deterministic models. These are the ones that are run 4 times a day. The Canadian going out, because I'm looking already, by the way, at the 14th of December, and the Canadian is not able to see that on this chart. That's why it's blank. But these can change wildly from model run to model run. And yes, I have seen the 18Z on the GFS. No. So I'm going to say no. Don't get excited about that. The ensembles, though, smooth out all this craziness from model run to model run and give us a more smoother idea of the setup. And this is where you really want to look to see for agreement to have confidence in forecasting. And right now, this is the GFS, here's the Euro, and here's the Canadian. If you notice, for the Euro, it's really wound up with a very strong low pressure, windy and warm. Sunday, the 14th, will be a Monday, so 13th and 14th, warm and windy. At some point, a line of showers and thunderstorms. GFS already has the system out of here on Sunday. It arrives early Sunday. This one says, Euro says later. The smoothed out details lean a little more toward the Euro idea. A little bit slower, so I'm going to lean that way with the forecast. Yes, we could see rising temperatures Sunday night into Monday morning, and we could very well hit 70. and then we would fall rapidly throughout the day as the line of showers and storms pass through. Are we talking about severe weather? I can't answer that yet. It does have a lot of wind energy, but as you all know, this time of year, instability can be the big difference on that, of course, and we just don't know that because timing will determine that. Move on. All right, after it goes by, it is showing the cold air. Now, the GFS already disagrees with its own self. The deterministic model is showing another system with a warming trend, and the ensemble says cooler, and so does the Euro and the Canadian. And even all the way through the 18th. See what's happening here is the cold air is moving in, but it is not taking over the eastern half or the southeast corner of the country. It's got a stopping point. And that is because of the ridging that takes place in the eastern part of the country. That is natural with an El Nino setup. You're going to get more troughiness in the west and more ridging potential in the east. And that is going to, the GFS is always going to push a storm way south in long range. So that's why I'm saying use a lot of caution for the long range GFS, especially the 18Z around the night. And then you'll see it get closer in time, and then it realizes the pattern that it's in, and it'll begin to pull the storm north and adjust it correctly. While that's the case, I do see signs as we head toward Christmas week that the amount of cold air, the battleground, is going to get closer to us than it has been. And that is going to allow for some dynamic systems to pass through here. It's all going to be about the track at that point in timing. So I can't tell you much more than that other than it's beyond the scope of what I feel more comfortable with. But yes, there is the potential for more dynamic winter storms to develop in the eastern half of the country Christmas week. But does that mean snow for us, or are we going to be in the warmer side? I can't answer that, but I do see a better potential than I do this week, and perhaps even certainly for next week. So hopefully that clears up some thinking on that. Here's a look from the northern hemisphere. We're looking above now at the Arctic, and even at this sun, see it's still got a trough there in the west. Until we get a ridge in Alaska, we really are not going to see much of a flip happen, and that's shocking. That's what we were expecting for this month. We were expecting that to be more of an issue for January, February, and especially March, to see more of that ridging in Alaska than we do now. So it's not, wow, I can't believe that's happening. All right, everything's cool. But when you look at the indices, notice the EPO is trying to go negative on the euro. Hey, there we go. GFS, boo, it's not really, doesn't know what it wants to do. PNA trying to go negative, that's not good. We want it positive. And these two we want negative, and they're trying to get there. That's why I think the indices are trying to get us to a much more of a battle zone to at least give us maybe something wintry before the month of December ends. Maybe. But is it going to be the big flip? I just don't think so right now. That's just my opinion. All right, guys, I got to get ready for the 11, so I got to run. And sorry about the vlog coming out so late. My apologies.